Hi, Pamela. Jeff Allen here. You asked me a question about, because mostly prospects aren't willing to share why they don't accept you, accept your proposal and all that. And we could talk about it. So I've got several examples. Uh, and one thing is not being a foreigner because I was the business development director for francophone countries, and I'm not a native francophone speaker, but I speak pretty well. So that doesn't always a reason. Um, Second thing, the first customer I had in that job was a high-end luxury company based in Paris. I'm not going to say the names. And I remember they came to me and they said, "Well, we don't want to take your kind of your pre. We offered some pre-project things to kind of make sure that the quality be high." And they said, "We don't want to take that part of it, but we want to do the project." And I said, "Well, if you don't take the pre-project, um, I'm going to charge you for every correction on the project." This is like translation websites and stuff, right? And I said, "I will charge you for every single of the mistake or anything that would be done in that kind of the pre-project during with preferences and all this stuff." And I charged them 25% more for making corrections. So that was like a shock to them. And I said, "Yeah, but I want to have measurable things and make sure that it's done." And so that made him think, and we talked afterwards after that. Another one was, I'm trying to think of these in kind of an order. Another one is I had been doing websites for a large hospitality chain, and we had been doing a few websites for them, and then they wanted to do an RFP for basically for being the kind of the certified provider, and we didn't get it because they wanted me to cut my proposal by 20%. And I said, "No, I'm not going to cut it by 20% because I don't want to give you crap." So they took another provider, but the other departments kept coming to me because even though we weren't the certified provider and we cost more, we had better quality, much better quality. So it didn't stop the business. And they kept coming to us. And I got a phone call from my president the president of our company and saying, "What are you doing, man? You're dropping." And I said, "Yeah, I'm just following the thing." He's like, "Make sure that your customers are loyal, and not and they keep coming back." So I didn't get the RFP, didn't win that tender, but it didn't matter because they kept still getting the jobs from them. So it can have if you just say no. Another one I remember saying no was got a call from someone that wanted us to do with like 40,000 words of translation from French into Russian in like 2 days. And I said, "No, this won't happen. This will not happen." They said, "Why not?" I said, "Because it's not possible. It's just not possible. It cannot be done." And I said, and I said, "You go find someone that's willing to do it. They're hungry. They'll do it. And then you'll be coming back to me in 6 months or in 2 or 3 months. You'll be coming back to me because they will destroy they will destroy it, or they will do it wrong." And they did come back to me. We started doing business later. So I said, "No, I won't do that. I will not put my name on something and sell you something that cannot be done in quality that reflects what we do." Another one, I remember one. Yeah, this was through a kind of intermediate uh, company for a bid for something, and again another thing for website translation. And I spent quite a bit of time kind of checking this thing out and looking and comparing their websites and stuff, and doing a little kind of I did a little test on it myself. What I could do within building dictionaries and building into a translation system, basically. And I've worked on this for 30 years. I know this topic really well. So, I mean, I did this been in production teams and stuff. Done this and made it very successful, and a lot of providers for this. So we had a company call with them, and I call with the company, the intermediate company and the customer, right? No, it was not the customer. It was just the intermediate company. And they said, "Well, yeah, we want to do this workflow." And I said, "You're not going to do that workflow." And they said, "What do you mean?" "We've been told by another company." I said, "You cannot do that workflow. It will not work." And they said, "Well, no, we had another company." I said, "Who told you that?" And they said, well, you can't. And I said, no, you cannot do this. And they said, why do you say that? Because I said, I've taken the time to call all the R&D directors of every one of the companies, the big providers that do these systems in the last 2 days, because I used to work for them. And I've asked them all if we could do this thing that you want to do. And they said, no way, 5, 10 years from now. And so I'm telling you, it cannot be done today unless you want to bring a big wad of cash out. That will be you'll be the only one funding this thing, and I don't think that's what you want to do. They said, no, but you can't say this. I said, yes, I can, because I've studied you out on your LinkedIn profiles. Who you are. And I don't think you've checked who I am, and you want to make a check on that because you'll see that I'm not bluffing here. So I'm telling you, it can't be done. Now, and I was a sales director, but I wasn't for that one. I was just kind of helping consult for another one for a different company, a different country. It was in my territory. And my fellow workers said, Jeff, you can't say that. I said, I'm going to say it because there's no way it can be done. And you don't want to be set. You don't want them doing this because I know this inside out, right? I said, you other folks are sales folks. You've not done the production of this thing. I said, you're going to get a nightmare project that you won't want and it can't be done. And you promise to do it. It won't happen. Well, in the end, we didn't do the project, but, oh no, then they said, yes, someone else said it. I said, well, who's that who gave you a demo of this thing? Put me on the demo. They put me in the demo, and within like 10 minutes of watching a demo of the company said that they said they could do this thing. I laughed. I called back and says, that's a bunch of crock. There's no way. That was tweaked, and I can tell you how they tweaked it. Now, in the end, we didn't do that project. My sales colleagues who were on that project sold them some of their, solution, a memory-based one rather than a production thing, and that's fine. But we ended up, after I left, the company years later bought that other company. Not because the other provider, not because they had things, but they wanted to have the patents of the solution to fight against another company in the patent war. So so there have been several. These are just a few examples, and I think it comes down to is learning to say no to your prospect. Learning to say no to your prospect when you know that it's going to destroy. It'll be a nightmare before they say no to you. And I've done it several times. I've learned to say no, and I've not learned to. I just did it often enough that I said I won't touch that, and I won't put my name on it, and I won't put my company's name on it, and you will be coming back. And they came back several times. So after they had, something had been messed up, they spent money, and then they come back and they pay for more, right? They fix it. So those are kind of the experience. I mean, there are lots more, but I think that kind of gives you a palette of, kind of a number of examples that you can think about. So glad to be able to share it.